Speaking of these kind of big issues, when we think of key moments in 2018, key moments in 2019 before the pandemic and the acceleration that went alongside that, are there things that you look back on and say, "Oh, that was a big." I know that coronavirus overshadows a lot, but before that, what were some moments?
Well, it's interesting because one of the things I do every year is I go to the JP Morgan conference, and that really frames up my perspective of what happened over the past year. Now, I cover a lot of it. I talk to a lot of people, but it's a vast industry. There's a lot going on. At the JP Morgan conference, you get to hear, I don't know, 16, 18 different CEOs and CFOs stand up there and say, "Hey, here's how we perform financially." So you get a sort of a snapshot of how the industry's doing. But then you also get hey, here's what we're doing strategically, and here's how we're moving forward. And it's interesting. 2019 was a year of everybody was racing. There was a lot going on, and it really came out of 2018. 2018 was a phenomenal year, really, for healthcare. There was a significant amount of reimbursement came from the Affordable Care Act. That came more reimbursement. In fact, that was one of the quotes from the JP Morgan conference and I believe it was the CFO for Intermountain said, 2018 will be known as the high watermark for reimbursement for healthcare. And I don't know if that was the case or not, but that's what he was saying, and he wasn't the only one saying it. There was a couple of themes in 2019. There was grow to greatness was kind of one of those themes in 2019. Because again, we didn't have a pandemic. We were sort of looking at, things were going to continue as normal. And you had significant acquisitions that year, and everyone was talking about mergers and, are we going to end up with 5 large health systems in the country like we've ended up with 4 main payers in the country? And so there's this sort of grow to greatness mentality. That year, though, I'll be honest with you, I really focused it. I learned how different it is. And I knew this because I operated in Southern California market. But when Bernard Tyson got on stage and started talking about their telehealth, and that 65% of their visits to Kaiser were telehealth visits, and it was over 1 million visits, that was sort of an interesting aha moment for me, that there's a different way to deliver care, but it's tied to the financial model. And Kaiser's able to do it because of the payer, the provider. It's a different model. But everywhere else, telehealth was struggling. And it was struggling because the financial model didn't match. Well, that changed in the pandemic.